Namaste and good evening. I'm here to describe a little bit about the Samadhi experience that took place today. And I have talked in most of the other videos that have been done so far about this episodic slowing that's been taking place, which is really the primary phenomena that is happening now, and that is getting more and more substantial with less breaks in between, as well as when it comes, it is very, um, I don't know, you lose track of time. So I could never say how long it happens. But I think as people watch these things and observe it, I'm very happy that it's out, because no one can understand. You might talk about something, but when you actually observe it, it's another thing. I think a lot of people want to make something in their head up about this journey and what takes place. And the beauty of this path of Guruji's is she puts everything right out there to dispel whatever um, concepts are there about it, and also to express what a true path and a true journey is versus one that, is more um, a temporary experience, or not a lasting experience that will bring one to realization. And now I'm here as things are falling away to describe what is happening, and also with whatever visuals that come out, and whatever people might look at these things and feel odd or whatever. I mean, whatever they feel, but this is the reality of it, and certainly what's going on within a here when, the Samadhi experience takes place is very different than what someone may be looking at and observing. It may be a very, whatever, but it's out there, and, I have never embellished, as I've said. When I do speak about what's taking place here, I really mean it. I'm not one that, if anything, as I said, it's been underplayed. Um, I just keep this lighting thing is so frustrating, and also the video looks grainy. I think I need a new computer, but right now we're going to have to put up with it. So the slowing has become more pronounced, and then what happened today, hope it doesn't happen while I'm here on the video because it's starting to feel that way. But we were sitting at Starbucks, and Guruji and I, and like our usual morning when we do go out, we usually sit out on the deck part there. And I was telling her, because we had just done a video, and I was describing this slowing, and literally how when it happens, I'm unable to complete whatever intention was there, and there's just this presence, and the body loses its ability to move, as well as speech, and but within the mind, and I have used those terms vacant, and that's why I'm glad Guruji is here, because I think people can kind of be afraid by those terms, vacant, empty, and voluntary. And those are states in which people lose their control, truly. And that's what this path is about. That's what Kundalini does, is take away that feeling of doership, and feeling like one is creating an action, or that one has the intention, or is the doer, basically, is the best way to put it, which is the Samadhi states, and some of what is happening with this slowing and the stillness that comes with it, the emptiness that, to express it as a fullness. I mean, it's so alive there. It's not a dead place. I mean, what is happening? There's no activity in mind. That's all. And right, so that's the main thing, and I'm not that good at articulating, especially when this stuff is taking place. One loses their ability to, or maybe I haven't ever really been good at it, so I don't want to blame it on Kundalini. but it doesn't make it any easier. Let's face it. So we were sitting there, and if anyone's interested, they could look it up on Guruji's site with the Samadhi state there, and I just want to describe it to you so that people are not in fear or worried, or maybe they're not, but there's some that could very well be, and I can understand that. I was a lot of the stuff that has come, freaked me out, and I had to just learn to move through it. Believe me. And, before Guruji, a lot of this stuff was going on for 6 years by myself. She's been brave in doing it completely so far, without anyone there and needing to sort out her own way. And then, of course, having Guruji here, but even with her here, it's been hard to do. And one just does what needs to be done. And sometimes it's not, it's not it's not at all what it appears to be. And that's really the case with the Samadhi state, especially. And I feel blessed, really, for the first time. I feel like the fruits are beginning to come, the sweet fruit of this. And even though it is it's not even brief anymore, but where, this is happening. And it's actually during those states, there is so much peace with it. I can't describe it. You are not present there as that persona. And what is happening is the beauty of life is there, and that staring thing, it looks vacant, it's empty, there's no one home, basically. And that's a very good thing, but it is a stepping stone. One can certainly, with that, I really have not been able to disengage from it as with other things. And again, that's the beauty. One cannot, as much as you want to even if that feeling is there, to come away from that. You're unable to. And that is the reality of having a still mind as well, and being, I guess, a Buddha mind or nirvana is, even if you cannot get away from it, it's all consuming the quietude, it's all consuming the spontaneity, and that doership goes. So you watch it, it's amazing. The eyes are rolling up. Could look frightening to people, but I've had the eyes roll up for a long time. It's part of it. It's part of it. But with the eyes looking just vacant of a person being in there and just really gone. I'm not kidding when I describe these things. I'm only putting out these videos now because of this substantial shift, but I'm not here pretending with this stuff. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to make it into, when I describe these experiences, as a temporary, just a little thing. It is a major, substantial shift, all consuming. And I'm going to speak to what the reality of it is, and also there's no way to make it something else. And certainly with that video out now, people can see that, what really happens. And really, within that state, one is really lost to, whatever, one's looking at the clouds, and that is just an all-consuming, it feels as if one is drawn into it and just feeling the same as that. Just the sameness is the best way to describe it. And also there's more of this pure energy that flows like a river, in terms of really it's in charge there. It's not, one, it takes over, literally takes over, and it moves of its own accord, which is always purely intelligent, always beautiful, always grace-filled, silence, stillness, and having that ego gone. So, it may look a little bit distressing to be totally lose all your volume. I literally go over, and I just want to, if people do watch it, if you're interested in moving forward, or even interested in it and what a samadhi looks like. I don't think a lot of these things have not been captured before. And I believe the very first video too that was put out, one of them is where I'm doing a lot of the Kriyas, so they're very fluid, and I don't believe that was out before either. I'm the one for some reason, it's fine with me as long as I just want to be out of this thing, whatever. She's like, knew she if something like that happened would film it. You can't get out of it. So oh, wouldn't it be better though if I was just in the privacy of my own home and I had a candle lit and there's no, you don't, that isn't what happens. Although it doesn't take place if, it, it has its own, it seems to have a knowing, like if I'm in the grocery store, I'm not going to see, things get done. And so people don't need to worry about that part. When it comes, it comes. This kind of thing did not come like this when I was raising my child, when I was working. I mean, it has a knowing. And there was these symptoms with my hands being in a lot of pain, and also I have a hard time coordinating, and it's really impacted my life severely, and it's hard to, maybe more will come out later, but that came exactly when my son was raised in college, and a lot of then now here being, he's totally independent. He takes care of himself, and and I have the space here, and there's just when the conditions are ripe, when one is ready, when one, for here it was kind of like feeling this happening, and it was like not in words, but it's like bring it on, bring this on now, because there's a readiness, there's a ripeness in there now. So again, that I don't know how long, really looking at that video, I was surprised. I think it may have been only 15 minutes or maybe 20 that was taking place, which was one of the longer periods and deeper. And also to describe within that there was crying. And people, I don't think you could see it in the video, but I had my sunglasses on for a while, looked like some kind of stoned out person that, maybe needed a wheelchair for a while. I gotta laugh because watching it was funny to, see it all. It was funny, and I it's the way it is. But now, of course, I've lost what I was gonna say. Okay, so there was a tear that came down, and then looking up, there was tears. And I didn't feel sad. I just, it was the same unmoving, still emptiness that's full and substantial, filled with life, the flow of life. And there was that shuddering. It felt like, honestly, outwardly, as closing my eyes and things like that, great fear was coming. But I really need to say I did not feel afraid. These felt, at least there, more like just echoes that came in the body. It's hard to describe. It was like a surface ripple or a play, but that same feeling of no one within there, and that quietude and really great peace was present, and that was primary to whatever was seen on the outside. Although there, I, still awareness of this body. I could hear Guruji's voice, the traffic, and I know when she went out, and usually, you lose that sensory experience. So that may be the next step, and I don't know when, but I'd be happy to tell you about it when it does take place, and we can only pray, at least I know I am, that so here I feel just like this is a blessing, although when that mind comes back, it's really the same. It's not, there's the same drama and more of a preoccupation with whatever your drama of the moment is, that soap opera spin of the day. And, and then it just vanishes, and then it's a different story. But I mean, I've never been one, getting through feeling a spirit on me, and talking to spirits. These are things I like living alone. I just want to go kind of from this to this. Believe me, I was not alone, and okay, now I'm going to start meditating, then I'm done, I'm in peace, and believe me, it's just that way. But this has been something else, and it really, I am very relieved and so happy to and grateful that this shift is taking place. So if you do end up watching that video, I don't, keep your heart open. And, the point of the whole thing is if you are interested, I mean, sometimes many have just a casual curiosity, and also to see that this is what happens with a true guru versus something that's manufactured. That people say, oh, I was in Samadhi, or I've got Kundalini, or I've, whatever, that's not a valid, real, more just a very light thing. This is what happens. And you could read about it in the mystic books that these kinds of things are happening, and you see the pictures of a lot of the saints and things with their eyes rolled up and the aura. It's really, part of it. And it has a look to it that people can go, okay, that's a little but it's a mystic experience, and it's got such grace in it that it's a mystery too. It's not for many, to be quite honest. And if you have a casual curiosity, watch it too if you want, but it can be entertainment too, I guess. So I wanted to explain that a little bit so that people maybe it helps to settle them, not, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. She can film it, she can not. I'm going on. And I don't care. I could sit like that. And fortunately, my life is set up that I can now, and it comes at the right timing, and that's what I mean. Just sit there like that all day for all I care, really. And, you think of Ramana, too. When he was found, he literally lost he just sat like that. He didn't, he had mosquitoes biting him, and it didn't even affect him. He didn't feel it. He was just lost to that. He was just gone. And that's what happens. I believe when I was there, when I could see in the video that, and I heard it, but my glasses fell on the ground. And sometimes my hair was like this, and normally you'd go like this, but I just, no one reached to pick it up. I want to say no one at that point reached to pick it up. Things aren't done that way. And if you can, like I say, read a lot about people that are just gone like that. Ramakrishna too, and you're just staring, and Krishnamurti would sometimes sit in a stare where they'd have to help to walk him home. And and yet with this path, with Guruji, her name really means being able to fully function in the world. And some people are gone like that, but these are things that it just doesn't. Whatever's needed here is needed, and that's her example. And following her, that's what will take place here too. That's what will take place here too. So I wanted to, and hopefully and also to say that this took place at Starbucks, where every place is a sacred place, or can have this falling away. I mean, when you look at some people or gurus, supposed gurus, that have all this pomp and circumstance and outfits and stuff, never here, never needed. It's the internal that matters, and it doesn't matter where one is. It can happen. So anyway, this is just a further description, and I'm happy to put more of this on for those that are interested, and I do appreciate those that are and that get something from it. And I appreciate, people mentioning that. That's been a really nice to hear. And, but for whatever it's worth, it's there. And maybe later, or, whatever it is, it's kind of like all of the offerings. Okay, here's the offering and of the reality of these things. And one can imbibe in it with an open heart, or one can be in curiosity, or one can have all their judgments. Doesn't matter. That's still what it is. It's still not going to change the reality of what this journey is. So anyway, that's just what came out, is to further explain that. And for some reason you do come across that video. If you don't want to watch it, it doesn't matter, whatever. But we're only here to bring out the reality of it. All right. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful evening. Namaste. Bye.